Good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about black box. It is not black, it's orange because easy to locate. So what is the purpose of black box? Black box is used for air crash investigation. After the crash, the black box gives the investigators a vital information, any conversation in the cockpit and how the flight performed throughout the entire flight. So this is recorded in this black box. So black box has two components. One is cockpit voice recorder CVR, other one is flight data recorder FDR. CVR and flight data recorder. Now they have combined these two together and made it as what you call CVDR, cockpit voice and data recorder. So let us look at the cockpit voice recorder. Cockpit voice recorder has 4 microphones. One is for the captain, right? Whatever the conversation he is making, communication, everything, his voice will be recorded through the one microphone. Other microphone will record the co-pilot's conversation. And another one will record if there is any other crew in the additional crew in the flight, in the cockpit, their conversation will be recorded in the through the third microphone. And the fourth one we call CAM, cockpit area microphone. It will record the entire cockpit area, the sounds, that means abnormal sound, any warning sound or flicking the switch, all those sounds will be recorded through that microphone. So as this cockpit voice recorder, it will record only, used to be recording only last 2 hours of the flight, right? Because those days they used to use a magnetic spool as a recording, like olden days audio tape. But nowadays they use SSD cards, so they can record up to 25 hours of cockpit voice, right? So that is the latest conversation, and they can record anything that is happening, any voice, any sound in the cockpit, whether they are talking to the tower, whether they are talking with each other, any flight crew conversations can be recorded by the cockpit voice recorder. And some aircraft will have what you call erase switch. You can raise the entire cockpit conversation after flight is landed and everything is safe. Pilot can flick up a switch and it just everything will be erased. So this is the cockpit voice recorder. Now let us look at the FDR, flight data recorder. Flight data recorder can record up to 146,000 parameters, but they don't record all of them. About 737 will record up to 1000 parameters, and Airbus A380 will record up to 2800 parameters, 2600, 2800 parameters. Why they have so many parameters can be recorded? Because sometimes they have, after the manufacturing, they will go for the test flight. For example, they will go impact anything, to see crashing, and they will do what you call high altitude flight, low altitude flight, and cold takeoff. All these they will, so they need to monitor every segment of the flight. But according to the FAA regulations, that you must record minimum 88 parameters. That is your time, altitude, attitude, airspeed, vertical speed, then engine parameters like RPMs, and many, they will control what you call the navigation parameters. All will be recorded in the FDR. So after the crash, what they will do is the aircraft investigators can recreate the flight. That means like a flight simulator, you would have noticed you can fly wherever you want, but same thing, they will give all these inputs and aircraft will be simulated in the similar exactly how the aircraft has flown. So this is how they used to investigate. So this black box will be located at the tail cone of the aircraft, because that's a very strong area, because all the bulkheads and the spars and the ribs all closely knit there. So it is very strong area, and all the impacts will be very minimum on the tail cone. So the black box will be located in the tail cone area. Then this black box can withstand 3400 G shock, right? 1 G is about 9.8 meter per second squared. Just imagine 3400 G shock it can withstand. Also, it can withstand 5,000 pounds of impact, right? It can withstand that. And it can withstand 1100 degree centigrade temperature for 1 hour. If it burns more than 1 hour at that temperature, it might melt, right? So it can withstand 1100 degrees centigrade for 1 hour. And if it is falls at the cold area, it can withstand up to minus 260 degrees centigrade for 10 hours if it is in the cold area, right? So it can withstand this, it can withstand that. Also, it can withstand, if it goes underwater, it can withstand 20,000 feet underwater pressure. How much pressure that is impacted by the underwater? It can withstand the pressure for 30 days underwater. And the black box is connected with the what you call one piece called underwater locator beacon. Underwater locator beacon will emit signals, beacon signals underwater for every 30 seconds for 90 days. So this can be picked up by a underwater pincher, right? Underwater locator pincher, the emergency locator pincher can go underwater and it can surf around the area and it can pick up those signals and identify where the black box is located. And next one, I'll be talking to you about RAM air turbine. Until then, take care. Bye.